chapters 6 and 7 are all about the names of the skeleton, which we've kind of already done. The bumps. There's not a lot of that on the lecture exam. Do you understand that? You're not spending time on that. Spend 98% of your time on chapter 5 and 9. Chapter 9 is the muscles, which we've gone over. And it's not about naming the muscles. You're not doing that on the lecture exam. All of that will be included on the lab exam later.
Mr. Beard, I thought we weren't doing chapter 5. I thought it was the 6th through 11.
Well, 5 is the basic. Maybe it's 6. What is it? I'm going to change or check that. Chapter.
Manage my dog so I pet you. Yeah. Baby.
Up here.
Yeah. Bibo. My dog calls my dog Bibo. Baby, let's see. I'll go take pictures of him.
Boy. Oh, it's lab 5. Yeah. Yeah, it's chapter. She had this right.
Why are you so mean? I put you like a dog and I put dogs above.
Okay, don't get confused like I just did. Lab 6 is different from
I like dogs.
the chapters. It's correct. It's chapter 5, you guys, and chapter 9. Okay, I just checked. So your lecture exam is out of this book. You need to know chapter 5 and 9 really good. So I posted, let's go to, let's just look at this before I click out of it. 5 and 9 is, I'm going to go back here. Functions of the skeletal system. You need to know a little microscopic bone anatomy. All the names of those cells, their functions. You know, the whole conversion system. That's compact bone, the concentric lamellae, all that business. And then there's spongy bone, the trabeculae, and those things. You should be familiar with the periosteum. I think I wrote it later here. Endosteum. Those are osteoprogenitor type tissues. Right? That means they're like stem cells. They're the things that build new bone. And chondroblasts, I didn't write any of those. Those are bone and cartilage forming cells. So go over that. We didn't, maybe we'll click on it. There's endochondral ossification versus intramembranous. And intramembranous is how your skull bones, which are real flat, my forehead, parietal, there's like membranes that form, and the bone fills in between. So picture 2 membranes, fill in the bone between, you're going to get a sheet-like flat bone. Isn't that what your head kind of is? Now my long bones, and those are called endochondral kinds of bones. And that's what you're thinking of when you talk about the red marrow, the growth plates, right, and how the cartilage grows first and then gets replaced by bone, and the medullary cavity in the middle is destroyed as the bone widens in diameter, and so the endosteum is inside the medullary cavity, you know, creating and sculpting bone, and osteoclasts. Oh, I put site twice. That meant to be class right there. You know, those are remodeling, reshaping bone from the inside out, and at the ends, at the epiphyses of the bones. So, look these things up, how much the adult skeleton is being refurbished in a sense, demolished, replaced. When bone mass reduction begins, a little bit about aging of the bones. And here, so Andrea, you just asked, you need to know about the different kinds of fractures, pots, poles, green stick, oblique, transverse, those. What bone is usually broken when someone breaks their wrist or carpal bones? Does anyone know? We mentioned that. Any guesses? There's 8 of them. Which one is it? What's the first one that bridges the gap between the first and second rows? It is the, someone said, scaphoid. Here are your essay questions. Go over a synovial joint. Tell me what all of those accessory structures do. And what are the 4 synovial joints in the human body? You want to name them real quick? What are the 4?
For what?
There's 2 ball and socket joints of your body. What are those? We kind of skipped the whole joint chapter, by the way. Except for the hip and shoulder. And then there's 2 other synovial. Well, actually, there's more synovial joints. But the 4, maybe I should say the main ones, are the what? Elbow and the knee. So maybe we should word that differently. What are the 4 largest synovial joints? Because there's more than 4. All right. Yeah. Fingers, phalanges in there too. Okay, then we played a video how the ACL is repaired, how to test a damaged ACL. You should know. And this leads into the lab exam. That's why I was asking. Should we put that lab exam on Tuesday? Follow it right after the lecture exam?
No.
It's fine where it's at. But you guys need to get familiar with that stuff. So you've got to know the need. That's why I'm making an origin insertion quiz. I think I'm going to leave that off the lab exam entirely. The origins insertions. That's going to be a separate exam. It's just a quiz, what we call it. Because on the lab exam, there's so much to know already. And I'm going to give you some time to work. There are 2 models over here. This is for the lab exam, not next time. So here's a little bit of that, muscle fiber model right here. Okay, so here's a muscle fiber, and these are the myofibrils. These are the organelles. You'll have to name this. It'll be on the lab exam with tape somewhere on it. And this is, I've not seen this one before, but you ought to name the sarcomere here, and you can practice with each other. Spread this out, and you should be able to name all the parts on this. I mean, you should start to recognize and tell me the A band, the H band, the I band, the M line, actin, myosin, these kinds of things. You got to name those. I would take pictures of this stuff and name that. Don't you will this. All right. You guys work and study a little bit together. I'm kind of tired of talking. So you need to memorize a lot. Okay? I'll finish up at the end of class.